how did you pick this category?
My father has been very resilient after a failed business, starting again, starting from zero or probably a minus. He's starting from negative and then build. He used to carry about 20 kg bag on his every trip.
Entrepreneurship looks glamorous. You will see people post hustle stories, but no one will put the anxiety that you had when things went wrong. At what point, Akshay, did you feel that Nootie now is not a small business? It's going to grow and grow big.
Nootie started as we launched a 10 rupee biscuit packet which is meant to feed a sailor every day.
You appeared on Shark Tank and I'm sure there's a lot of discussion happening with investors right now also. Who has more power, you guys or the investors?
One of my investors had told me that
we don't realize that silently that boring stuff is actually fueling all the glamorous stuff.
Very beautiful example of 3 words: Niyat, Nishtha and Hello everyone. Well, yes, this was not the way that we wanted to start the podcast, but seems like someone's more excited than we are. Welcome to this exciting podcast today, wherein we have Akshay, the co-founder of Nootie.
Hi, welcome Alok, welcome to the Pet Point.
Thank you, Akshay. Here you go, your guest.
Yes.
Well, I'm happily surprised, Akshay. I thought it's a pet food store, but this looks like a lifestyle store. From shampoos to fish bone broth to toys and whatnot. What are you up to? This is so exciting.
So actually, look, this is what we are trying to build. We are trying to build an ecosystem which is pet friendly and pet parent friendly. We understand our consumer, we understand our customer, their everyday need. We want to make pet parenting easier for the pets who have come to this world and makes our lives easier happier and easier for us.
Very interesting. Tell me, Akshay, how did you pick this category?
Interestingly, look, when my father basically had a failed printing business, and he got into this because somebody from one of his vendors told us that let's get into try your hand into this category. My father started trading pet products. We were a pet friendly family for a very long time, but we never thought this could become a career. And so that's the journey. That's the backstory of the journey. And 2005 is when we basically decided that we want to open our first store. This is the third store in the Pet Point series. The first store happened in 2005, and this is only because we were passionate about the category, but we never knew that we could make a career out of it. So that's how it actually started.
Inspiring. So your father had a failed printing business.
Yes.
And then from there in 2005, you picked it up and built this great brand Nootie, which is now serving the pet parents of India.
Yeah.
Interesting. Tell me, Akshay, do you always or at sometimes feel the failure fear still in you, that what happens if Nootie fails? Any thoughts?
Look, to be honest, these thoughts you cannot run away from these thoughts. A founder, whether it's any brand, any foundation, any business, these self-doubts have to be there. Otherwise, this becomes overconfidence. These doubts are still there. And the father's failed business has taught us how to be resilient. The father's failed business taught us how to get into the category so depth that there are the probability of failure word, kind of you eliminate that out of your business because you are now so much into your category. Mm-hmm. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to build. Your knowledge base, our knowledge base in this category is genuinely quite big when it comes to pet and the pet parents. And that is the essence of Nootie. We don't want to do anything which is out of our ego or out of our gut. We want to come up with products which are actually solving real world problems. Not just a competition ने किया है या मुझे करना है. These are the only things that we are still working on.
Very interesting. Tell me, you use the word ego.
Yes.
Has there been any decision that you actually took out because of your ego, implemented it and just ridiculed it? Both of them.
Honestly, I would not say ego. I would say FOMO. I think FOMO would be a better word when it comes to a brand building point of view, because when you are in this brand building journey and you see other brands doing experimenting a lot of things, you don't want to miss out. I would not use the word ego, because we've been taught by my father that ego in business, you never work from ego, you work from brain. You use your brain, not from your heart. And when you take a calculated risk, that doesn't become an ego, it becomes a calculated risk. So again, I would not say ego, but again, FOMO is something which I still have. As a category, as a brand, we are very dog focused brand. I understand that the cat parenting market in India is kind of on the rise right now at the point in time. We want to use our experience of the pet point journey, of our retail journey, and now put into cats. Again, it's something which I don't want to miss out for in the next quarter or next 6 months of the brand journey. Again, no ego, just FOMO.
I quite like and appreciate these basic principles of business. You talked about working not only just with your heart, but with your brains too. So it's a balance of, I would say, emotions that you need to keep. Also, I think you mentioned about depth, that your father taught you about not being on the surface and going into the depth of the business, depth of the category, depth of the products. So I think you're absolutely point on, and our best wishes to you. Why? Because I personally have seen in my journey, right? There are businesses that will have tons of money. There are businesses that might have big names behind them. But if attention to detail is missing, that business will not flourish as much as it should be flourishing. Yeah. So I think compliments to you and to the great team that you're building at Nootie. And I'm sure from dog parenting to cat parenting to, I'm sure as the category evolves, you will go places. So Akshay, you're a biotechnology engineering graduate. From biotech engineering to building Nootie and Petcare category. How did that happen?
So when we were young, any parent tells their kid na कि यार पढ़ाई कर लो, कभी waste नहीं होती. And actually, I have lived those through days. My biotechnology has actually helped me understand the biology of pets very easily. That the biology of pets come to me very naturally because I have studied through my career. During the college days, we were kind of helping pet parents out, helping my father out. हसल देखी पापा की, उनका जज्बा देखा कुछ बिल्ड करने का, कुछ बनाने का, अपनी लाइवलीहुड बनाने का. एंड इनफैक्ट इतना था कि हम घर में we were used to pack all these orders at home with him, help him out, so that he can send out orders for his customers. So we have gone through all these things. Passion to build something on our own was always there. And hustle of the father kind of catapulted us to, now we have to do this, we have to make this, we have to do this for our livelihood. And that's how the journey has been.
You also told me while we were having a chat that those were the days when you started out. You used to pack orders at your home. Tell us more about those days.
See, kya hota, look, when you see your father go through so much hustle in your life and at such an early stage, my father has been very resilient after a failed business, starting from zero or probably a minus. He's starting from negative and then, build and still give us that livelihood that what we have right now. When you see that hustle now, you always want to help him out. You always want to see, you benchmark him as a, that हमें यही करना है, आपको फादर की हेल्प करनी है, you have to kind of work for the family. So yes, those were the days where you were actually packing orders at home so that Papa can go and sell them out to the customers, retail store customers all across the country. He used to carry about 20 kg bag on his every trip to different cities, book orders, get orders. We packed those orders and he could deliver those orders on his own. So when you see that hustle, तो वो अपने आप naturally आता है. It's not artificial. It's something which comes in the family very naturally.
Well, that is so inspiring because we've seen very closely with a lot of founders. Entrepreneurship looks glamorous. You will see people post hustle stories, but no one will put the anxiety that you had when things went wrong. The time when there was no money to pay the rent of the store. So I think struggle looks romantic when only it's temporary. But I think in long run, what you have achieved, and with all due respect, the value system that your parents gave you, I mean, hats off, so that you are ensuring that legacy does not only grow, but becomes, memories in many, many minds and hearts.
Thank you so much.
So beautiful. Coming to my next question, at what point, Akshay, did you feel that Nootie now is not a small business? It's going to grow and grow big.
I think 2024 2004 mid, couple like 18 months back, you know. So Nootie started as an introduction for a pain point, solving a pain point. When we were kind of scaling our retail business after 21, we thought that every brand was already targeting the premium segment. What we have done, what we have lived, is how we have seen a dog becoming from a security guard to a family member to now a baby of the house. We have seen that journey happening, and we could see that when that transition from a family member to a baby would happen, there would be a lot of a lot of pet parents would come into the category. New pet parents would come into the category. And every brand that was solving for at that point of time was always solving for the premium category, premium, pay scale category. We did not want to do that. We come from a very humble background. We wanted to understand if we want to do genuinely good for the pets and the pet parents, we have to build for the mass. And that is the introduction of Nootie. We build a product, we build a brand which is again coming with our 20 years of experience into the category at a price point that a customer or a pet parent does not hesitate. I was talking to a very Gen Z, some time back, and he said, I would rather compromise a cup of coffee over my, pets' treats and toys. And I told her that exactly the problem I want to solve. I don't want you to compromise on your cup of coffee and still give that best care to your, pet. That's the problem that we were solving at this moment of time.
Brilliant. I mean, I can just recollect, while my journey over the last 15 years across categories, across building brands, and now at Equentis, what we also believe in, I can so resonate. I think you talked about the intention. You talked about doing well and doing good, sacrifice. If I were to summarize, I would say this is a very brilliant, very beautiful example of 3 words: Niyat, Nishtha, and Nyay. Niyat is your good intention. And like I said, 100 out of 100 to your entire team. Nyay meaning you're doing justice to each and every customer need. You are ensuring that you are on top of their need, not just giving it to, the premium audience that could supposedly afford a pet, but now, as you said, it's becoming a kid of the house. And Nishtha, I mean, the persistence, the commitment that you are showing now to build Nootie, not just as a business, but as a mission that you have, is really commendable. Yeah. Tell me, what's the one story or what's the one point that your customers actually don't like about Nootie?
Okay, so I have a customer here who is he just walked in with his pet. I would love you to ask this question to him directly rather than me. I think that will be the best justice to to your question right now.
Let's do that. Yeah. So you are a customer of Nootie. How often do you come, or did we catch you randomly?
हर महीने मैं ग्रूमिंग के लिए यहाँ मेरे बच्चे को लाता हूँ और ऑलमोस्ट 3 साल का मेरा बच्चा है और 3 साल से जब से वो मैं लाया हूँ उसको मैं ओपनली यहाँ विजिट करता हूँ उसका डॉग फूड उसकी ग्रूमिंग उसकी मेडिकेशन तो मैं ये प्रेफर करता हूँ मैंने इन बिटवीन कुछ दूसरे पेट शॉप्स भी ट्राई किए बट जो सर्विस मैं यहाँ ले पा रहा हूँ जो क्वालिटी है और जो कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप है वो बेस्ट है यहाँ का तो मैं इस पेट शॉप को मैं रेफ़र भी करता हूँ जो भी मेरे वेल नोन डॉग्स ओनर हैं और मेरी विसिनिटी में मैं उनको सजेस्ट करता हूँ यहाँ के लिए
ब्रिलियंट थैंक यू सो मच टेल अस वन थिंग ललित जी आपने ये बताया कि आपको क्या अच्छा लगता है कुछ ऐसी चीज़ जो आप अक्षय को बताना चाहेंगे जो शायद ओके लेट अस नॉट से जो आपको अच्छा नहीं लगता है बट जहाँ पे नूटी कुड इम्प्रूव
नहीं ऐसा मेरे को कुछ फील नहीं हुआ क्योंकि यहाँ एक ही छत के अंदर आपको सब चीज़ मिलेगी आपको डॉग फूड मिलेगा आपको मेडिकेशन मिलेगी आपको ग्रूमिंग मिलेगी आपको एसेसरीज मिलेंगी
सो यू हैव अ क्लिनिक आल्सो
Yes.
यू हैव अ क्लिनिक यू हैव अ डॉग केयर आई मीन द वॉश सेंटर
yes.
एंड देन यू हैव अ लाइफस्टाइल स्टोर
Yes.
सो दिस इज हाई स्ट्रीट रिटेल फॉर पेट्स
You can say that. So the vision of Pet Point was always to make a one-point center for every pet parent. I understood that every pet parent leads a very, very, very busy life. If you are giving us 2 hours, we want that in those 2 hours, your pet's well-being is taken care by us. Whether it's primary pet veterinary care, whether it's grooming, whether it's products. In those 2 hours, we want you to be very rest assured that your pet is, you're doing very good with your pet and your pet is living a healthy life. That was the mission behind the Pet Point.
Lovely. Thank you, Lalit ji.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
So one thing, Alok, I want to emphasize here is Nootie is not just a brand for pets. We are also very dedicated as a brand to serve the communal dogs. Our communal dogs are our base responsible to every Indian in the country. For that purpose, we launched a 10 rupee biscuit packet, which is meant to feed a stray dog every day. For us as a brand, this does not make any financial viability, but this is a passion project that is out of my heart. It is out of the family, it is out of the brand that we want to serve the community dogs. We want every Indian to feed a stray dog every day by just spending 10 rupees.
Wow.
There is no compromise on these biscuits and the biscuits we sell inside. These are just packed in a small packet so that every Indian can carry in their pocket or buy it from a kirana store or keep in their car, open a pack and just feed a stray dog every day.
This is just brilliant. This signifies the importance of purpose. I think we've been talking about us, Equentis as an organization a lot, and the purpose that why we exist is to democratize wealth creation, is to help investors understand the long-term wealth creation phenomenon. But this is just brilliant that you're not just only restricting yourselves to pets, but your purpose of serving the dogs, serving the cats, and serving the strays through the various, the overall Indian market is just phenomenal.
Nootie is a brand for pets, dogs and cats, whether they live inside your home or outside your house.
Brilliant.
So Akshay, we spoke about how most brands in the pet care or grooming space choose to go premium, but you for Nootie choose the mass route. Can you give me a reason why?
I think जो कोविड में pet adoption बहुत हुआ, and I still believe that whatever pet adoptions happened in the COVID is majorly happened in the mass segment, because there is a lot of people wanted to have pets. There was a time issue, a fund issue, and then COVID solved for it. People had time, people had extra funds to kind of put into it, and now I think so. What I believed, I've always believed that in the COVID, the major adoption happened in the masses, and there were no mass brands at that point of time, and everybody was so. अगर आपको भी याद होगा लोग, हमने जब बचपन में आपने कभी अपने पेट से अपने पेरेंट्स से बात करी हो कि मुझे पेट लेना, तो उन्होंने ये कहा होगा यार ये पेट तो अमीरों का शौक है. That change from a shonk to a family member to a kid, that transition has happened, and it is more aspirational. More and more people want to have their pets. Now we are seeing that जो terms हैं जैसे dink हैं, Gen Zs हैं, they are becoming more, they are becoming pet parents. So I think when this adoption is happening is morely into the major mass of the country. So that is where we thought that we could kind of bring in a brand and that can solve a lot of problems.
Very interesting. Just to follow up on that, tell me one thing that you believe that you understand about Indian consumers best and which other pet brands don't understand apart from this massification.
मैं ऐसा नहीं कहूँगा कि I understand the pet brands don't understand. So I think everybody has a lot of thesis of what they want to build and how they want to build. I still believe in whether it's a pet parent or a Indian consumer or a non-pet parent, I think Indians seek a lot of value for money, and I still believe it. I come from a very modest background. I have, as I mentioned, whenever we buy something, either it's for me or my kid or or my pet, I still believe I want to get the best value of our money out of it. There is a segment that only wants to shop premium, but there's a major chunk. India, Bharat wants value for money, and if in pets we can do that and basically increase consumption, probably that's the way to go forward.
Lovely. Tell me, in your business currently, you appeared on Shark Tank, and I'm sure there's a lot of discussion happening with investors right now also. Who has more power, you guys or the investors?
I actually, Alok, I don't want to term it as a power game. I want to term it as a, one of my, I pick up a lot of lines. I've taken this line from you also. One of my investors had told me that consider it as a marriage. In a marriage, you never have a power game. It's all collaboration. Investor has invested in my vision to make this big. I want that investor to come into into my picture to make me big or the company big. That's the agenda here, and both are aligned towards that goal. They should not be a power game. It's a mutual collaboration. Yes, you know some things. You understand the wealth. You understand the money. You understand. You have a better exposure at certain things. I have a better exposure at certain things. Let's mix those powers and make this big. I think I can resonate with this. You know, in बचपन में एक cartoon आता था Captain Planet करके. There were 7 powers combined and it becomes Captain Planet. I think that's the collaboration I want. I'm seeking with a lot of investors, not just money, but a lot of value to the ecosystem.
Tell me, if Nootie tomorrow becomes 1,000 crore brand, what part of your life do you think will quietly break?
Not an ideal situation. I don't want anything to break, honestly. I think if something is breaking, I'm not a good father, not a good husband, not a good parent, not a good entrepreneur. I think the sign of a good entrepreneur or a good founder should how he balances everything, each and everything out. Not an ideal situation I want to be in. I think if something will break is I would rather take it on myself rather than putting that pressure on some any other aspect of my life. I would rather take that pressure on myself rather than disturbing any other relationship I have with any other, whether it's an investor founder relationship, whether it's my parents, whether it's my kids, whether it's something. I think I would rather take it on myself rather than putting it on somebody else.
So Akshay, why I was asking this question, right? Because we believe that success is not free, right? It's not that you have to be always on the glamorous side of it. It's not that all days will be good. It's not about breaking. It's about sacrifice. At times it'll be time, at times it'll be relationships, at times it'll be your own personal peace. I remember you telling me that you love working in chaos. At times you feel that you are most productive when there are too many things happening. So the real question here is not about can you succeed. The real question is, are you ready to sacrifice? So I've heard your story. There are sacrifices that you would have made in your early days by handling and being a multitasker. Is there any one line of advice that you want to give entrepreneurs today who are just starting off like you, wanting to build?
Alok, so what I've learned from my father is being very resilient. One thing I take away from his, he's 63, 64. I consider, he has 2 brilliant kids who are taking care of a lot of things. But still today, I'm sitting with talking to you. He's at the warehouse managing a lot of things. At 63, 64, he's a heart patient. He is resilient. He wants to do. And that's something I've taken away from my father. We are a family of workaholics. Everybody is involved. I'm blessed with a family that is with me building this, what we are building. Yes, there will be sacrifices on the way. We are ready for that because we want to see the later good of what now happens to Nootie when we do this. So exactly, point is, we are ready for it. We have gone through that journey once. We are very committed as a family. And again, what I've seen I learned from my father, or that how I balance my family and my business and my relationship with everyone else is something I've always learned. That's Brilliant. Something I want to take care of.
Lovely. Tell me, if I shadowed you for a week,
yes,
what is the one part of your daily life that would surprise people the most?
What surprised people most? I think I come across a very serious person. I am not a very serious person. I'm an introvert. I'm not a very extrovert or talking. I would the last person in a party to come across a stranger and talk to them. But when they come to and when once we start talking, I don't think I'm a bad company to be in. So I think if you follow me shadow me for a week, you will find that there are a lot of faces to a serious entrepreneur, and there are a lot of people tag me as a serious entrepreneur. But I do have my moments of laughter or humor. I think every day, every hour, I want to make that I don't want to make it a very serious profession. I want to make it because I love coming to the office. I love working, and that's because I want to meet a lot of people. I want to chat to new people, and that's how I want to build this up.
Brilliant. And I think I completely resonate because I feel that success is not about someone being an introvert or extrovert, right? You might be an introvert, but I think your ability to sit across with people, understand their point of views, and doing it repetitively every day, like you said, every day, every hour. I think consistency is the key. I believe that today, if I were to give one piece of advice to entrepreneurs, I would say that, it's not about success being built in a day or a company being built in a day. I think it's the power that you will have to exhibit to kind of let go of that boriyat of repetition. Because at times we feel that if something is getting repetitive, it's boring. But we don't realize that silently that boring stuff is actually fueling all the glamorous stuff.
I've been a dukandar for 20 years. Every day going to the store, opening the store, managing the store. Nootie has been built out of boriyat.
Wow.
It is not built out of again an ego or a FOMO. It has been built out of boriyat because we were there listening to pet parents every day in and day in out. The advice at this point I can say is, please, if you start something, run it till the end. It will make it or break it, no matter, but run it till the end. Be resilient. बनेगा. आपकी नियत, निष्ठा और न्याय ठीक है तो बनेगा. वो उसको कोई नहीं रोक सकता फिर.
Perfect. All right. So now quickly coming to the most loved section. It's called the rapid fire section. No overthinking. Okay. A question shot is an answer shot back. Right. Quickly. One decision you would undo instantly if you could.
I think getting in a lot of categories immediately. That's something I could.
A belief you had at when you were 24 that you now think is completely wrong.
I think at 24 I thought my work should say things for me. I now think you have to say it on your own. Nobody else will say it. Do it for you.
Interesting. More dangerous for a founder, overconfidence or overthinking?
I think overconfidence. Overthink is a part of the job. Overconfidence is not the part. Should not be there.
One thing you tolerate today that you know you should not.
I think leniency. I am a very lenient person. I tolerate for myself. I'm very lenient as a boss or a founder, as somebody who works with me. I think because I want to build it fast now. Leniency is something I should not kind of forgo.
Honestly, I feel that's your strength. I'll not term it as leniency. I'll turn it. I'll flip the narrative and say that I think you are a very patient listener and observer. Is that? I mean, in the last 1 hour, at least I could observe. So it's not leniency. Maybe you'll have to get more tangible when it comes to outcomes. Right. Cool. If Nootie disappeared tomorrow, what would you miss more, the business or the identity?
I myself. Nootie, Pet Point, the entire organization is who we are as a family, as something. We are very close. Again, that's something. It's 20 years in making. We have given half of our careers, lives into this. So, Nootie disappear is not a question, and it is who we are, honestly. But tomorrow, whatever we want to do it in this space only. It's something very close to us. The pet ecosystem, the animal ecosystem, very close to us. We think we have a decent right to win in this category, and we want to still keep on building it for it.
Brilliant. One trait in people that immediately makes you feel or makes you want to work with them.
Humility, 100% humility. When I think first talk to you, my conversation in the first 15 minutes kind of makes or breaks if the person is humble. When we were first talking to, I was first talking to you, I had a very different impression. Then you're from Equentis and had that kind of, when you have that kind of profile, you have a picture in your mind that this person will be this and that, but humility is something kind of makes or breaks it for me.
No, brilliant. I think that's one trait that we should always carry. And I've seen in my life, the best of the leaders are best of the human beings, right? If you are not taking your badge value or your title or your designation to your head, I think that works best. I mean, both with people and both with business associates. So I would treat this as a flywheel, which it comes back, right? 100%. The way you sort of treat your people, the way the systems or the ecosystem starts to treat
100%,
you.
100%.
My last question: what scares you more right now, failing publicly or succeeding privately without meaning?
Very difficult to answer. Honestly, I think failing will not be an option for me. A lot of blood, sweat, and has gone into it. Failing is not an option for me, whether it's publicly or not publicly. But I think succeeding would be the right thing to go for me. I think because that's the goal I want to achieve now. Whether it's publicly or privately, I don't matter. If I'm able to do justice, nyay to what I'm trying to do. So again, इंटेंशन ठीक है. अगर मैं न्याय कर पाया जो मैं करना चाहता हूँ, जो हम करना चाहते हैं, I am okay being a silent winner. I'm okay doing that.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Akshay. I think that was very, very, very inspiring. And I'm sure this conversation will help millions of definitely pet lovers like you. And definitely a lot of entrepreneurs, young guys who are wanting to build something.
Sure.
My key takeaways personally, being introvert doesn't mean anything today. I mean, the moment you realize that you have to build something with a purpose, with your heart, I think you can definitely do it. But definitely that needs sacrifices, that needs attention to detail, and most importantly, that needs that persistence that we talked about. And like I said, I felt that you would add a lot of value to this podcast, House of Equentis. I'm glad that you could pick up something from us. Niyat, Nyay aur Nishtha. That is something that we also preach across our offerings as an investment advisor. And we hope that this episode of House of Equentis will really help people across the ecosystem. So thank you so very much. And I hope that our audience will love this. Do watch this podcast full. I'm sure it will be a value add, not only to your professional journey, but to your personal journey also. We'll keep coming back with interesting founders like Akshay. We'll keep coming back with interesting stories like that of Akshay. And we'll keep coming back with inspiring stories that you could really implement in your daily lives and make it big. Till then, goodbye.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.